I'd put my money on all day long on Cedric being able to crack up Arnold more than Arnold could make Cedric or anyone else crack up, because Cedric know how to like change his mood to be able to not laugh at something. Pretty of that, Dave, was the speech when he won the Arnold.
Yeah, I was just going to say
and,
that.
And he said, you know, what's this problem you got with Donald Trump going on? Remember when they had the beef? That was like the elephant in the room. It just happened, and here he is getting the award for winning the Arnold Classic. What's he do? He brings up Trump.
Cedric was genius, because Cedric
genius.
And he used to do this. He used to do this to me too. He knew everyone's vulnerability. So what he would do is, to neutralize his insecurity that he had with himself, he would throw their vulnerability in their face right off the bat, so that he threw them off their game a little bit. I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution. We are back again for another episode of Heavy Muscle Radio on this August 14th, 2023 evening, joined by the technician, of course, Chris Aceto. And yes, Chris, sir. You know, I'm starting to feel like I'm becoming Bleckman here. I got my reading. I have the reading glasses now here. I have my underlined articles here on science articles, and I got my supplements next to me here, and I just ate this really good new flavor of Power Crunch bar. I really like these Power Crunch bars. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever, but they have a cinnamon roll. It's delicious. But
all you're missing, Dave, is the vino and the Hummer.
I got the vino. I got my stimuli here, and I get the keys to the Hummer in my pocket, and. I added one extra skill set that Bleckman doesn't have. I do art, so I've been doodling a little bit with my pastel whatever I got there, the little pastel chalks or something like that. So anyway, how's it going?
It's going. It's my son goes to college this week.
Crazy.
Yeah, so that's 2 out of the house, which is a big deal.
Now they go to the same school or no?
No, different schools.
Oh, where's the
different schools, same price tags.
Oh my God, I'm afraid to ask. A lot of now, Chris will never get rid
I don't believe in college, by the way, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's the college experience. It's not necessarily what they learn there, because I think you're right. They get brainwashed in the wrong direction in college a lot of times.
Well, I mean,
nowadays,
that and the price tag.
Yeah, you're investing in their future, I guess.
Yeah. You sound just like the college admission team.
you know what it is, though?
Call a college, Dave. Call a college, and the only place that picks up on the first ring is the bursar's office, which is a fancy word for payments.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, press 1, press 2, we'll get back to you. Press 3, hold. You
know what college did for me and you? It allows us to speak in an intelligible manner, so that we sound like we were at the college and we learned something. So a lot of the facts we learned are probably useless, but they sound important sometimes. And we have some viewpoints, I guess, we picked up from college. But now, what? I think people who go to college have an advantage, and I'll tell you why. And it's probably not in the job market. I think that people who get into the job market, businesses and stuff like that, feel like slightly inadequate, like maybe they don't really know enough, even though they could be faking their way through it. Whereas when you go to college, for some reason, you get a level of confidence about yourself because you have a lot of knowledge in your brain. Now, how you apply that knowledge and what you do with it is a different thing. And I felt very confident when I came out of medical school that I was very well educated, and I had a lot of knowledge. I didn't have any business sense because they don't teach you that, God forbid, in college. But I knew what I knew, and I know a lot of people in business and in the bodybuilding world who are very, very successful, and I could tell when they ask me questions that they don't feel confident in their knowledge set. And sometimes I think confidence is very important to future success. Maybe not initial success, but future success.
Yeah, well, sometimes confidence is happy success, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, I mean, the opposite of confidence is no confidence, and with none, you're doomed. So,
I mean,
I just
yes,
I just don't want to have to pay 50 grand a year.
I was
to prop up
gonna
someone's
say,
ego.
how much that confidence is worth is a different story, right? Well, that's why, look, when I was going to school and when you go to school, getting into the best school possible was always the goal. Because, if you go to Harvard, you could write as my father said, you could write your ticket anywhere, any Ivy League school for that matter. So I applied to a bunch of them. I didn't get in. I wasn't that smart, I guess. I got into some, like you did, like a private, liberal arts college, which was right beneath maybe the Ivy League. And, and it enabled me at least to get into medical school and have a good education. But that's because colleges were affordable back then. Even the most expensive ones were like Harvard was only $12,000 a year. I mean, it's probably in 1986 that was a lot of money, but it wasn't an exorbitant amount of money where it was going to bankrupt you. Yeah. Nowadays, it's so expensive that my whole philosophy is completely different. Now, if you can't get into like a top level school, it's almost not worth trying to go for those middle of the road schools. You're better off just going to a state school that's subsidized, that's a lot cheaper.
Well, they don't subsidize it to that much anymore because of budget cuts,
Right. Well, we bought, I think I told you, we paid all my kids' college education off.
Yeah.
It's like a Florida prepay. It was like $25,000 for 4 years. I mean, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah. Well, was Harvard 12 grand in 86?
Yeah.
Because Jeff, you see the house Jeff Bezos bought this week, and same exact street that Tom Brady lives on, 168 million. It sold in 83. Wow. It sold Dave in 83 for 1.3.
Oh my God. Holy mackerel.
How's that for a return?
Wow. That's crazy. It's the same house, or is it just the same property?
Sure. It's probably like the same frame.
Why does Bezos want to live over there?
What's that?
What state? What city is that in?
Indian Creek. Put in billionaire's bunker because he can be next to Ivanka and Tom Brady and Paul Icon. Look at I know 4 residents out of the 48. Who else lives on that island? But it's the richest. I think it's the richest enclave in the United States. There's only 48 houses.
Hopefully the Indians don't try to take it back. In Miami there.
It's literally, I can walk there from my condo, and that's why when Tom Brady retired, I out in front of my condo on the beach when he posted that Instagram post, I said, "You got to be kidding me," because the beach is where my condo is. You walk from his neighborhood.
Yeah, you're right.
You walk, straight across.
8 million.
You walk east, and you're at the beach.
It's crazy.
3 minutes. When I first went to Miami, me and my 2 kids, who are both in college now, they were probably like 5 and 6.
You're right, Brady and Ivanka.
Yeah, we went for a walk, and we actually, when I came to that, I'm like, "Oh, what is this?" And there was an armed guard, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, we can't go on this island." He's like, "What are you talking about? It's private." I didn't know. I thought
when you're into real estate, you'll sneak anywhere just to see what the freak's going on, right?
See what it looks like. It's like in bodybuilding, you want to see what someone looks like. You're like, hey, just let me see what you look like 7 weeks out.
Wow. Bezos, who's currently ranks 3rd on the list of the wealthiest people in the world, has been investing in jaw-dropping properties left and right, including 2 more units in the same 1912 built Manhattan structure. Oh, he's also got something in Manhattan.
And Bezos is also bulked, but he can't use Anavar, I hear.
Yeah, they're. Can you believe they were making Anavar illegal?
I don't know. That's what they tell me. Bezos can't. Bezos is going to fight the winner of the Zuckerberg Elon Musk fight.
Hold on, let me pull this thing up here.
Redcon is going to sponsor it.
You think Aaron will try to get into that bunker place? He'll try to get in the bunker, right?
Yeah.
In that neighborhood. That's his goal. Live next to Bezos. So supposedly, I'm getting Rick Collins on the show on Monday. So we're going to go over this whole thing because evidently Rick told me when I reached out to him, he's like, I posted this, whatever, last month. I said, Rick, I don't have time to read my own social media pages. You think I have time to go check everyone's page?
Yeah. He's wondering why
FDA is withdrawing approval of the new drug application for oxandrine, also known as Anavar tablets, 2.5 milligrams and 10 milligrams, held by Gemini Labs. Gemini will voluntarily request a withdrawal of the application and waived its opportunity for a hearing. So basically, they were so scared they just basically said, you know what, forget it, we'll let it go.
Yeah.
FDA is withdrawing approval of 4 abbreviated new drug applications for oxandrolone tablets from multiple ANDA holders, Usher, Smith. So other companies wanted to make the stuff, and they stopped them.
It's funny. John Romano had told me that they were going to keep Anavar on the market so that in the event that trans kids needed it to.
No. You see, this is the great irony. Anavar is probably the safest anabolic, and they pulled this crap already. If you remember, right before they made, I think steroids a controlled substance, or maybe right after, they pulled remember Searle used to make the little footballs?
Yeah.
They came in a little 100 pill container, and they were looked like little footballs, and that's what everyone used to use. Matter of fact,
they were 2.5 mix.
That's right, and I know everyone in Westchester at least had a prescription for them, because either they got them from probably Bob if they were working with Bob, or Dr. Mike, who used to would hand out the prescriptions to everyone, and everyone would go fill. It was like basically doing antibiotics. It wasn't a controlled substance. So they pulled it. I remember Dr. Mike, my mentor, said to me, and this is before I was really involved in taking anything, but he said when he didn't know they had pulled, the drug, and he had given out so many of them that he didn't have any for himself, and he loved the drug, and he had to start buying them back from bodybuilders for double the cost of what they were in the pharmacy, because no one wanted to let them go.
Yeah.
And but so they got rid of them once, and the reason they came back was because, if you remember, and I remember distinctly why they came back, because Bill Phillips was writing about it in Muscle Media 2000, and the AIDS epidemic in the 90s was huge, and they found that they had a very anabolic effect and helped AIDS patients with the wasting syndrome with very little side effects. So the oxandrine it used to be called, Anavar. Now they brought it back as oxandrine, and they've been around ever since then. And now they're pulling them again. But the irony here, Chris, is that what they'll do is they'll let women go to these clinics and even their doctors and get put on testosterone injections or testosterone pellets in their rear ends. And that's okay, because they're replacing something that their body doesn't produce. Okay. Women don't produce testosterone. They don't have testicles. Their bodies produce DHEA, which then converts to testosterone in very minute amounts in their body. But you're allowed to give women testosterone replacement, like direct testosterone, but you can't give Anavar, which has 0 side effects, But the testosterone, even in small doses, because you don't know how much a woman's body really needs. So even if you try to replace exactly what their body produces, which is almost impossible, you're always going to give them a little more. That's the nature of the beast. They're going to get side effects, and the side effects occur cumulatively. So the longer they're on it, they get more side effects, hair growth, on the face a little bit. They start getting, maybe their voice can get affected. There is some side effects. It's not a lot, but a lot of women do have a very sensitive to testosterone. Why they wouldn't give them Anavar, which has 0 side effects, but will give them the increased sex drive. It'll allow them to put a little bit of muscle on and lean out a little bit. Nope, we're going to take that drug off the market because we don't need that drug, because it's a steroid. Oh my God forbid.
Well, what would be the dose, by the way, of the testosterone that they would prescribe?
I think I've seen women on anywhere from 5 to 10 milligrams a week.
Yeah.
You know what I take since I've been on replacement since my ankle surgery? I take 50 to 60 milligrams a week, because if I take more than that, my levels go very high. So I'm only taking 5 or 6 times more than a woman. They're giving a woman. And obviously I'm putting on muscle from it. A lot of people have noticed, So testosterone is very potent, especially in a woman's body. They don't need that much.
Yeah.
And I don't know why there is this stigma against Anavar of all things. And you know what the funny thing is? And Bill Phillips used to say this years ago too. When they list side effects for anabolics, they always, in these articles, and even in the article I just showed you, they always throw the same side effects for all steroids. So Anadrol 50, which is the most toxic steroid, and Anavar, they say have the same side effects.
Yeah.
Liver cholestasis, liver tumors. No one's ever got taking an Anavar compared to like an Anadrol is like eating M&Ms. I always say.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably have more of a chance of getting sick from eating M&Ms than you do from taking Anavars. There's no toxicity to it, but they associate the same steroidal side effects no matter what drug you're talking about, which is stupid because they don't do that with blood pressure medications, right? If you take one blood pressure medication that's an ACE inhibitor and one that's a calcium channel blocker, they don't have the same side effects, but they're both blood pressure medications, right?
Yeah.
So why they do that without individually, having testing?
Well, it's a good question for Rick Collins, but you probably already know the answer. But it's nice to hear from him what he has to say on that.
Yeah, we got to get. That's why we got to elect RFK. He'll legalize the stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's we lost Chris.
Hold on.
He's buying real estate in Bunker. What is it called? Bunker. Billionaire Bunker.
Uh-oh.
Are you taking a call from Bezos right now?
No.
Oh, there he is.
No, there I am. No. I'm back.
I thought Bezos wanted to go partners with you on the lot next door to him.
Yeah, well, so he's in good company on, what's it, Indian Creek, Billionaire's Bunker? I forget Indian something.
Yes, yeah, Indian.
Yeah. So, and Tom Brady, I said, Tom Brady and his wife, they both have houses there. You can see
I didn't know Tom Brady was that wealthy. I guess he is.
Gosh, I mean, you know what? He was never really paid, right? For the Patriots, like the level of pay and what other people were getting. I mean, compared to all the wins that he had.
Yeah, but he did it for a very long time, and I'm sure he had a lot of other endorsement contracts.
Yeah.
Indian Creek.
He's supposed to be dating your girl, Blackman's girl, Kardashian. He discovered her.
Who did?
Blackman discovered Kardashian.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're saying Brady is dating her. Oh, I thought you said Blackman was dating her.
People don't realize. I'm surprised that Steve Blackman does not publicize more the fact that he kind of sort of discovered Kim Kardashian.
No, she just wasn't as popular when he put her on the cover.
She was completely unpopular compared to where she is now, right?
Yes. Yeah. She never would have done the cover otherwise, probably.
She wouldn't have done the cover. What magazine was it?
Fitness RX for women, but he had to put her in a dress because she was so out of shape that she thought she was in shape.
Maybe you know what he could have collaborated with her on Skims.
Per Banal who's the photographer who took the pictures. He's the best, and he was horrified when he called up Steve from the photo shoot. He's like, Steve, I can't shoot her. He goes, she's got cottage cheese hanging out of her ass. Steve's like, put her in a dress. They shot her in a dress. She wore a dress.
Wardrobe adjustment. It was a last minute wardrobe adjustment that salvaged the photo shoot.
Yeah. Oh, that photo shoot must have cost Steve a fortune. I'm sure it did. It probably was a good selling. It probably was a good seller though.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised. He didn't present him with one of those contracts in perpetuity that he can use the likeliness and right.
I'm sure he tried. I'm sure Chris, mother, probably told Steve to go shove it up his ass. I'm sure.
Were you at the photo shoot date? You weren't there, right?
No. You know what? Looking back, I could have gone to it. I just didn't even think to. I wasn't even that impressed with her. I'm like, she was like a reality, show person. It was like, I didn't want to. Nowadays, I would go just because of how popular she is, and just to say hello. But as my father would say, I'd be a phony baloney, and go there and oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because whenever they used to do the muscle and fitness photo shoots, cover shots, the whole staff would go there. And I'm talking about after Joe Weider. This is when AMI owned. I couldn't believe it when they shot Triple H. I was in the the magazine spread with him, and Triple H was on the cover of Muscle and Fitness. So he invited me up to they did it at WWE headquarters in the gym there. And if you saw that production, there had to be 8 people working for AMI that were there, including, all the creative guys that I know and over there who were there at the time. And it was like everyone's just standing around watching and people setting stuff up. I'm like, man, you would think, I couldn't believe the cost that had to be involved in doing this,
Dave, when Muscle and Fitness was in its heyday, even MD, but I mean the budget,
it's crazy.
Because Joe used to do anyways, I mean he'd do food photo shoots and get food stylists and hairstylists, and, just to be in the picture.
They wanted everything perfect, in the magazine. And you know what? I respect that because, and I remember, look, Per Bernal shot Triple H too in that photo shoot. But the point is that they were so meticulous about images and how they looked, and because visually in a magazine, that's what sells, the vision, the images. And no one gives a shit about that anymore. People snap it with their iPhone. And I mean, I feel bad for the photographers because it's almost like a lost art. It's like no one cares about them anymore, aside from maybe the top people in the world, It's got to be hard. It's got to be hard to get the work.
Changing times.
Yeah. Who would have thought, right? The art of photography would be gone.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot more of, on the horizon with, just technological changes that are coming. I mean, meaning a lot of professions,
Yeah. Pretty soon, the iPhone in probably 5 years will take a better picture than Per Bernal can take with his $20,000 cameras.
Yeah.
And you won't have to do anything. It'll probably float in air and just take pictures. You can probably say, snap. You don't even need to be in the picture or hold the camera.
Like a phone with a drone, flying around.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. All right, let's. What else did I want to talk about before we got to the risk? Oh, I interviewed. Vlad Sororuko.
Oh yeah,
from Ukraine.
Yeah,
great interview, by the when's
it going to be up? Big guy.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be up this coming week. I don't think
he lives in. Where's he live? Dubai or
he's
Kuwait?
in Dubai now. Yeah. He's competing in 4 weeks in Italy.
He was in Kuwait, right? Wasn't he in Kuwait for?
He originally, what happened? I'll give you the little synopsis. You can watch the interview though. But so Vlad is originally Ukrainian. His parents live on the border of Ukraine and Russia. So Vlad, he didn't know he even by his own admission, he's like, I had no idea what I was doing, but I looked, I was winning some shows. And so he contacted the guys in Kuwait, Oscar, there, and said, what I want to be trained by you guys, and they hit him with a price tag. He had no money, his family doesn't have a lot of money, and he's like, I really just can't afford it. But I guess they saw how the potential there, and they said, all right, we'll bring you into Kuwait. Bader brought him in there, and he lived there for a while, and he grew like a weed because he didn't know how to eat, right? He didn't know how to really train right.
Yeah.
He was just kind of winging it. And when he was in high school, he was like 143 pounds, Chris.
Yeah. Well, that's not surprising.
Yeah. I mean, it sounded like my story almost. Let me see if I can find that picture. I guess he really, really did well over there in Kuwait and growing and stuff like that. And then the war started, in Russia and Ukraine, and his family had to get out of there. So luckily his family got to, Germany. So the rest of his family lives in Germany, and he lives now in Dubai. So he trains in Dubai with Andrew Jack.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Maybe not every day, but he's over there. And, he's in a good place now. But this guy's a real super freak. I mean, I don't know how far he'll go in the sport, but I don't think there's anyone on the pro stage that has as much muscle as this guy. I'm really impressed with how much mass he's got on his body.
Yeah, no, he's freaky. He's pretty darn thick. I mean, he's not pretty darn thick. He's freaky.
I mean, there's no one. He's like a Marcus Rule, almost like with the size, the massive size he has.
Isn't it funny how some of the biggest guys like Dillette was like that, a bone freak?
Yes. Yep.
Dillette was just a skinny guy, and because some people you can say like, gosh, that's a picture of you when you were 16 before you even lifted weights, and you by weighing where they were when they were 16 with no weight training, you say, gosh, no wonder by 23 you were huge. And then there's those groups like this guy who's like 143 pounds and skinny like a twig and ends up just gigantic. No myostatin, Dave.
No myostatin. I think he's going to be good, and he's only like 26 years old, Chris.
Yeah, no, he's won shows. I mean, he's won shows already. I think a couple, one or two.
Yeah, well, he went to the Olympia, and one year he couldn't go to the Olympia because of COVID. He couldn't get a passport, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But he's doing
that year they should have. I don't know if they did, but the year like that where he couldn't go COVID. No. It's like Raphael couldn't go the first year he qualified because of COVID. They probably should have taken people who could not travel because of COVID who qualified and just said, we're giving you the bye for next year. You can go.
Right. Yeah, that's what I meant. They should have, grandfathered it in for the next year.
It just probably never crossed anyone's mind simply because, the world was in chaos still. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'd like to. I'm excited. If you want to see the great interview, really, really good, heartfelt interview. All the stuff he's had to go through to get where he is. It wasn't easy for him. And he's in a good place now. So he was telling me, Dubai seems to be everyone's going to Dubai. Everyone. I mean, I've been there, so I understand why people would want to go to Dubai. It's like living in Las Vegas, only you're in the Middle East. That's all.
Yeah, with more luxurious environment than Vegas for sure.
And you know what the funny thing is? There's no crime in Dubai.
Yeah.
John Romano and I were talking about this the other day. If you commit a crime, they kick you out of the country. So no one wants to leave. So no one commits crimes. Can you imagine being in a place where there's no crime? It's incredible.
Yeah, it'd be like 100 years ago. I don't know.
Or maybe 100 years in the future. I don't know. It's just they obviously have it figured out. If we had the same policy, if you commit a crime, you get kicked out of here. No one would commit crimes either. Because no one would want to leave. But I think it's a great training environment there. That Benai guy, you saw that gym that they have there, right?
Yeah.
It's like the craziest gym of all. It's like someone took a shopping mall and turned it into a bodybuilding gym. It's just nuts.
Yeah, no, the gyms are sensational.
That one gym, and look, Bader's got some amazing gyms too, but that one gym is that they all train at there. Let me see if I can pull up that gym. It's incredible. But you know what? They got that new gym coming out now.
Which one?
That Bader, I think, built, right?
That's you already featured the Beta gym, the crazy one.
That was the Kuwait one. So that's looking crazy too. But the gym in Dubai is incredible. I can't find it right now, but
the entire roof retracts. If you know that on the gym, Dave, so they can make. I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't. Look, Chris, I wouldn't doubt it. Hold on, let me see. There it is.
We still got Gold's Venice, Dave.
Gold's Venice is like the YMCA now.
Yeah, exactly.
These gyms. Look at this. They got like food services there. I mean, this is the way it should be done. You should never want to leave the gym.
Yeah, Dave, you would have gone to 400 there. You should have told.
Yeah, I would have just stayed in the gym all. I never would have left.
Yeah, you would have been happy with renting a bed.
I would have said, "Look, give me a room in the back. I'll be in. You can use me as your sponsored athlete for the rest of your life." I said, "This is great."
It kind of reminds me of Dorian's gym.
Temple gym.
No, the point is you can build a Mr. Olympia physique.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what's the irony, Dave? I mean, obviously this gym is not built necessarily for people to win the Olympia, right? But think of how terrible Dorian's gym was.
Right.
Think of how terrible Coleman's gym was in terms of, quote, luxuries and accessory equipment. I don't know where Phil trained. Jay trained in Vegas. But, those gyms can't hold a candle to these gyms.
What it really tells the message it sends, Chris, is that in the Middle East, they value bodybuilders, and they understand that that's big business, and they know that if they built that gym in New York, California, Texas, Florida, you'd probably have double the amount of people in that gym that they do over in Dubai. And you know what? It would make a fortune, but no one would, in a million years, would spend that much money building that thing.
Maybe not. But I mean, you could go down the list, Dave. After gyms, go to hotels, go to restaurants, and just compare them to, hotels in Manhattan and restaurants in Manhattan or Vegas, and say like, gosh, look at that hotel, look at that restaurant,
right?
Look at the mall, and blow the socks off.
Right.
Vegas.
They have a couple. They have 2 gyms. I can't remember the name of it in New York in malls in the bottom part of the mall. And what was it called? I left New York. I can't remember anymore. I used to train there. Gorgeous gyms with good equipment. As long as bodybuilders will train anywhere, but if you put good equipment in a really well-equipped gym with like restaurants and physical therapy and massage therapy, bodybuilders will never leave. And if the bodybuilders are there, and Ed Connors is the guy who really got this whole mess. You put the bodybuilders in a place, other people like celebrities and other people will want to be there just to look at the bodybuilders. Yeah. I know it sounds like, Planet Fitness has it wrong. Planet Fitness thinks that people are intimidated and that they won't go there, but that's not true. That's not true. Regular people don't necessarily want to look like bodybuilders, but they want to train where the bodybuilders are so they can look at them and say, holy, look at that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I talked to so-and-so today, Mr. Olympia, and, he gave me some advice on the bench press. People like that. Yes, there are a couple uptight people that might think that they don't want to be involved in that environment. But the truth of the matter is, if the gym is big enough, like Benai's gyms and like Bader's gyms are, that there's a place for everyone there. And, comfort is huge. People want to go into a locker room and have it smell nice and look good. And I think
Planet Fitness was the original woke gym, Dave. They canceled bodybuilders.
Yes, they're still doing it.
They had a gym in my town, and Tarek El Satui came to stay with me. And we went to the gym one day, and he had a tank top on, and I just went. Of course, I didn't train. I just went and hung out. And
you pulled your Bob Gruff, didn't you? You cigarette hanging out of your mouth. And
he had a tank top on, and he's like 2-3 weeks out from the show. We went the next day, and I bought a membership because just to follow him in.
$6 a month, it's worth it.
And the next day, when we scanned the cards, they didn't work. I'm like, what's going on here? And I went to the I didn't know what was going on because I was too naive. And I went to the front desk and I said, my card doesn't work. And they go, yeah, we know. I'm like, why? They wouldn't even give me the reason why. They go, I'm like, what are you talking about? And they said that you can't, he couldn't wear a tank top in the gym.
Oh, someone should sue them for I don't know what the lawsuit would be, but you know what? In today's woke society, these gyms work. 15 years ago, they never would have worked. People would have laughed at them. They would have said, "You guys nuts." So Planet Fitness is a perfect model of what society is becoming or has become. It's like a snobbish. The funny thing is, they say they're a no judgment zone, but yet they are a super judgment zone.
Complete judgment zone.
All they do is judge. They judge the people who they don't want in there as being something wrong with them, and the people. So they're doing exactly what they're trying to undo. So they're trying to create a gym environment that is not intimidating for people by getting rid of a certain population of people. Okay. So they want to population of people what they think the other gyms are doing to their population.
They want to create a safe, comfortable environment for people who aren't in shape, who want to work out, who never make any progress, and continue to go to the gym and pay the fee and don't make progress and don't get offended by seeing somebody who is in shape. Yeah. It may remind them that they're not in shape and not making.
You know what the truth is? If you interview the people who come out of that gym, 90% of them don't believe the whole stupid agenda they have there, but they like the fact it's $10 a month and it's convenient and it's around the corner from their house.
Yeah.
They're all over the place, these things.
Well,
so
the $10 a month is the big one.
Yeah, but it's convenient, and they do have good equipment in there, and it's clean. And so people figure, wow, you know what? It's down the block from my house. I know guys that have memberships there just to do cardio.
Yeah.
They go there and do their cardio, in the morning because they don't want to drive to the real gym to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we can't have a one gym fits all for everyone, and that's really what these fitness centers that they've built in the Middle East are doing. It's a gym for everyone. Everyone can feel welcome there because you don't even need. It's so big you don't even need to see the bodybuilders if you don't want to. But if you want to, you know where they are. They're in the free weight area.
Yeah,
they're smart, and you can catch them. And bodybuilders are very friendly. They're not. There's very few guys that are assholes. Bodybuilders love to talk about working out, and if you ask them a question, assuming they're not on 2 weeks out from a show, most of them will sit down and talk to you. I talk to people all the time in the gym, even when I was competing. People ask me questions. So there's no way people are going to say bodybuilders are dicks or anything like that. That's not the case. That's not the case. But we live in this screwed up world. What can I say? All right. Now there was a show in Tahoe this past weekend.
Yep.
With the 212 class that Chris, you and I were talking where we were very impressed.
No, it wasn't in Tahoe.
No. Excuse me. Sorry. There was a Tahoe show though, but that's not the show I wanted to talk about. The show I want to talk about. Where is the show I want to talk about? Sorry, Chiru Classic in the UK. And there was a lot of shows, but we're trying to talk about the men's bodybuilding. There was a 212 class, and a Nasser Mohammed won. And I want to bring up his pictures, Chris, because we thought both Chris and I were looking at these pictures and we're like, oh, this guy's really good,
No, he's been really good at different shows, and this was his best. He's been really good at different shows.
Yep.
And then some shows where he's not bad, but just not really good. And this was his. This was a great combination for him of, I think, just size, density, condition. He's been at the Olympia. He's made it there. He's going back.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me just keep talking.
No, just he's brought his. I mean, his legs always have been good, but I thought he brought them up even more. Great front lat spread.
He looks very short to me. I don't know what his height is.
I don't know how tall he is, but he is short. Tremendous.
Who would you compare him to in terms of, if you had to say this guy looks like this 212 guy?
I don't know, because he's got his own signature. He's got a dense look. I really don't know. It's a good question, but he's got a dense look for sure.
I'll tell you. Want me to tell you who I think?
Yeah.
I thought you hit it out of in the second. Oh, he looks like Jose Raymond to me.
I thought you were going to say that too, but I didn't want to insult Jose.
The quad. He's got the big lat spread from the front. Jose always had.
Yeah. No, he's got density. I mean, and Jose had density in spades.
And it looks like he's been training a long time. I don't know if he has or not. He has like good muscle maturity.
Yeah, very good muscle maturity, very good density. He was able to, get by. I don't know what the scores were, but it looks like a, fairly convincing win. But I forget the kid's name, Lucas from Brazil. Lucas from Brazil is kind of like him as well. He has shows where he's outstanding. I mean, everyone does, right? Everyone has their best, but he has shows where he's outstanding and other shows where, he's good, but just not at his best. And I think that's what hurt Lucas here, is that he wasn't at his best.
I was going to say Lucas Coelho is pretty, if I was going to have a pre-show favorite, I probably would have said he's going to win the show.
Yeah.
Just because, he's got the crazy structure.
I knew you were going to say that.
What made you think that they picked Nasser?
Just when they put them side by side, you could see Nasser's just was leaner and had more density and, tighter all over, more polish. And you can see on the side chest, Lucas is, the big legs from the side. If he was just a little bit tighter, I think, front double is fantastic. But, just I've seen it look better just because he's been tighter through the quads.
Then you got this like crazy freak in third.
Dave, I don't know. Yeah, the guy in third was just like
Marco Sarconi. I'll pull up his picture because
diced.
he
I
diced.
don't.
Not the best. Not as good a structure as like Lucas and then these other guys.
It's so funny, Dave. I don't know who took the pictures, but this week, we always complain like, oh,
great
gosh,
pictures. Great pictures.
A lot of times we're critical of the pictures that are available because
JM Mannion. JM took it. Well, James been doing this for 100 years. He's a great photographer. He doesn't shoot that many shows anymore. So for him to come, he must have been the special guest they brought in, to shoot the show. That's why
you can see my point is you can see people's actual condition. Sometimes like you someone, God, I saw this guy and he's in great shape, and then you see him in person and then you see him like in pictures.
Where was that show that was dark? You remember how the USA was really dark? JM should have shot that show.
Was it the USA that was dark? Yeah.
The pictures were really dark.
Last couple of pro shows posted up, but
that's great. JM did a great job with these pictures.
That's
impressive to me.
What's that?
This guy's impressive.
Oh, super impressive! Like super dialed, like 100% on the money for his physique.
I got to look at the scorecards on these. I want to see what these guys were ranked. The problem is when they go to Europe, you very rarely do you see dissenting scores. Yeah, I don't know why, but it's like everyone
they throw out 4 highs and 4 lows, Dave. Comes down to one judge. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And my question is, I should get my friend Sharu on the show. Sharu is all over the place. He's in Brazil. He's in India. He's in UK now. I remember when he first started. You remember when he had the Sharu Classic, the first ones in India, where he brought Kai and Phil in?
You're gonna say he's the new Tamer.
It looks like he's trying that, but he's all over the world. He's not like really like, muscle contest is mostly in California. I know they're all over now too, but I don't see the scorecards up at all.
Yeah, I didn't see him yet. Anybody?
Yeah, maybe they haven't posted him yet. But yeah, Sharu. I'm going to say something nice about Sharu because Sharu flew me in 2012. He flew me into India. One time there, and we were covering the show. We were going to cover the show, and that's where I tore my quad, and I had to go home. And Sharu put on. Let me tell you, I'm sure he spent a ton of money on this first class event, and I'm talking not only just for the athletes, for the press, the people he brought in. We were staying in like a 5-star hotel. They had a food buffet at 12 midnight when we got there. Ready for us. We had each person had their own handler. So like if you needed something, you just call that person up, and then they'll come and do whatever you need them to do. Really, really, really first class.
You need that, Dave, down in Cape Coral.
Yeah, I need that exactly. I need my own assistant here, but I need one from India that's not going to like flake out on me. See, people from the United States are like tainted. They don't think that especially in Florida, no one wants to work. So I need to import one from India, a handler, and this way they have a good work ethic. Why do you think they outsource everything to India? You ever call like Dell, technical support? You're calling India.
Yeah. India or the Philippines.
India, tell me India. Because
they say good afternoon, Mr. Palumbo. Then they say this. My name is Dave.
They're so nice too on the phone. They have very good temperaments.
Why, when you blow up on them, Dave, they still don't change their temperament?
Yeah, I very rarely do I blow up. I don't blow up because they're so nice. I don't have to. They just sometimes you can't understand what they're saying, but people don't realize everyone in India speaks English. That's why if you go to India, it's really easy to get around there. Everyone speaks English there. It's not like that. They learn it in school. They learn whatever they speak, whatever native language, and then they also learn English. And most of them speak very, very well. Yeah, I always had a very good relationship with Indian people. I never had any problems with them whatsoever. Jimmy the Bull might have had some problems, with.
Who do you have? Which country, Dave, do you have the most problems with?
To be honest with you, every country seems to be better than
Australia.
The US.
Australia, Dave, you have a lot of problems with.
Just in customs with Australia, but I love the Australian people because you know why I like Australian people? Because they're all like Lee Priest. They're all like super like, this is how it is. They don't sugarcoat anything. if you do something fucked up, they're going to tell you about it, and no one gets insulted if you tell them about what's wrong with them. And I love that about the Australian people. They keep it super real. I only wish that our people were like that. But I can never live in Australia because they have worse laws than any place I go. At the drop of a dime, they're going to keep you in your house. They're there with the vaccines. They were terrible during that whole COVID scandal. There was like restriction zones. Did you know that? You couldn't even drive. Like Lee couldn't drive to the gym because it was in another zone. Like, it was like they were acting like it was World War III. The nuclear weapons had been dropped on the country. So I can't live in that. Plus, you know what? They have speed guns, speed traps on the highways. So if you speed on the highway, you can just get a ticket in the mail from them.
Yeah, we got that here.
No, you have it like at traffic lights. We don't have it on highways.
Yeah.
What was the last time you went 55 miles an hour on a highway?
Well, the speed limit, I think, is 70 in Maine. So everyone goes 80 is what.
But in New York, it's 55.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's 70 in Maine. So that means everyone goes 10 miles over. So the base rail, you know what I mean? So everyone goes 80.
Right. But I'm saying if you went 80, you would have tickets in the mail when you got home. If you were in Australia. So anyway.
Who has time to go 55?
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, when I'm in Florida, it's 70, like you said too. So I'm going 80 the whole way.
Yeah.
Easy. Alligator Alley. Imagine going 55 on Alligator Alley. How long it would take you to get across that thing?
You ever see any alligators, Dave, on Alligator Alley?
I have.
Yeah, me too.
I have on the side of the road. Thank God, we're on the side of the road. I see alligators, in my backyard.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Did you see there's a guy who has a very popular YouTube channel. His name is Chandler's Wildlife or something like that. He free handles cobras and all kinds of venomous snakes all the time. Now, most of the ones that you see on camera are his, that he owns. So they kind of know him, which is still stupid.
Yeah.
They went in. Here we go, back to India. There always is a connection. He was in India, and he was. I don't know if he was at a zoo or wildlife park, and they had some monocled cobras there, which were probably wild, and he picked it up by the tail, and he was, doing his shtick, for camera, because he's got millions of followers, this guy, because people love to watch dangerous stuff, right? Yeah. Don't do this at home. And he got bit by the cobra, the monocled cobra. The second he got bit, he knew he like put his mouth on his hand. He tried to suck the poison out, and then he like kind of held his finger like a tourniquet. And he held it that way until they got him to the hospital. Luckily, they had anti-venom there. 20 vials of anti-venom they had to pump into him. Thank God nothing happened to him. But, he will eventually die because he just does stupid shit.
Yeah.
But, look what happened to Steve Irwin. I mean, he died, right?
Yeah.
He was a crazy lunatic, too, with the animals, dangerous stuff. And India, got to watch out, It's one thing to pick up, to pet your family.
Dave, it's one thing to fall down a spiral staircase like you. It's another in India to pick up.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can pet someone's family dog. When you don't go in, if you see a wolf in the wild, you don't go try to pet the thing, right? I mean, you're probably going to get bit.
Well, you do if you can monetize it, and that's what happens.
That's exactly. You hit it 100%.
I mean, you saw the guy. I don't know. 2 weeks ago, there was a guy. He takes pictures of himself in Singapore, like walking up. He sneaks on buildings that are like 80 stories high, and he goes out on the tower and takes pictures. He fell recently somewhere and died.
Yeah, and it's very suspicious too, because supposedly everyone who knew him said that he doesn't fall. You know what I mean? That's just not.
Well, everyone trips once.
They said the death is suspicious, but who knows? The wind can blow when you're up there, and you can get knocked over. I mean, I'm horrified when I watch these guys doing this, walking on those like skyscrapers and getting these crazy pictures. I don't even like to watch the picture, even though I know it's already done and no one's gotten hurt. Just watching the guy up there, I have like this heavy feeling in my chest, like that's not a good thing. We're not supposed to be up there.
Well, that's why people watch it, right? Because you're not supposed to be up there, and it's
I know
it's enticing, and you can you imagine you being one of these guys and you successfully pull one of those off, and you get like 1 million views or 2 million views, 3 million views, and the check comes from YouTube. And
I told you, Chris Angel made his whole career on
but
this.
don't swallow an anabar when you're on top of that.
Yeah, right. They'll arrest you for that. Chris Angel made his career as a magician on one stunt. He had been into piercings and stuff like that. I've told you the story before. And they told him when he was getting pierced that, the skin is so strong that you can actually lift someone up by piercings and the skin wouldn't tear. That's how strong the skin is. So I don't know where he got this idea. He got this idea that if they can put hooks in him and into his back and lift him up in a helicopter over up in the air. I think it was over the Grand Canyon or wherever they were. I don't know where they did it. And he did the stunt, and that on his TV show, I think it was called at the time Mind Freak, and that made him. It went viral and went all over the place. And I asked, I'm friends with him, obviously. I do his diet, and I said to him, I said, how many times did you rehearse that? And you know what his answer was?
None.
0. It's like this is going to be one take. He goes, I'm never doing this again. He goes, this is going to be one time, and that was it. And
of course,
he said that was the whole. Obviously he researched it, and they made sure they had enough hooks in them, but that made his whole career. So you never know. Guys do crazy stuff.
And then we ended up having the Olympia at his right
in his theater. Yeah, the Planet Hollywood Theater. Yeah. I haven't seen the new show because I haven't been to Vegas since he moved he used to be in the Luxor, which
you got to take baby
steps. That hotel.
You just got to take baby steps, Dave. You just got out of the house, out of the basement. No, you don't have one, and you went to the WWE first class.
That's right.
Next is taking the kids to
Olympia.
Angel's show. Chris Angel's show first class.
Putting my kids on an airplane is going to be it's going to be a challenge. I don't know if I'm ready. I'm not ready for that psychologically yet, to be honest with you. We would have to I'd have to medicate myself, I think, to do that.
Yeah.
They'd probably like it. They'd probably be all right on the plane because it would be exciting. But Vegas is not a short flight from here because you got to make a connection.
Yeah, of course.
Pain in the ass. All right. What else did I want to talk about? Oh. Did you see the Ronnie Coleman, Arnold Schwarzenegger workout at Venice Gold?
No, but
I'll pull it up.
I heard about it because I think Jose was there that day.
Oh, he was there? Oh, that's
cool.
So Ronnie and Arnold. Let me see if I can put a little audio on here.
We're at Gold's in Venice. I'm about to get me a workout in with my boy Arnold. Let's do this. Yeah, buddy. Huh?
Arnold rides his bike to the gym every day.
Where's your bicycle?
I left it at home.
Ronnie, how are
I know you was riding today.
Good to see you.
You too. I still ain't going.
Yeah, I ride every day to the gym.
Good. You ready
You look good.
I'm trying to hang in there with you. You too.
Yeah. We have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got no other choice.
Yeah. It's great to see you.
You too.
Great
Always.
to see you.
Always good to see you.
Yeah, you don't come out here much,
No, not anymore. I used to come all the time.
Yeah.
When Joe was alive.
Right.
When Joe passed away.
Well, I hope we can do a few exercises together.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We will. Yeah, lightweight.
Can just anyone order them out?
Right here.
They filmed the whole workout.
Where do you live now?
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, honestly, for the last 30 years, working for police department.
It's hot now, right?
It's extremely hot.
Yeah. And
It's
humid.
quite, yeah,
Humid,
and
yeah. It's better here now.
it's the best weather ever. Don't get no better than this.
No.
I feel like I'm in heaven right now. Let's working out with you too. Come on, Arnold, you got this. Lightweight. There you go. Lightweight. Come on. Get him up. Yeah, buddy.
Ronnie must say lightweight, yeah, buddy. So many, it's become his moniker that he must say it 600 times during the workout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whose channel was that on, Dave?
Ronnie's channel. If you want to watch it, it's on Ronnie Coleman.
It's a great get together.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
It's great. I mean, how many Olympics between the two of them? And now 15. You got Bill on the phone calling Arnold's people trying to get the workout in.
Well, it's funny because Ronnie, I mean, Arnold even makes a joke about it. He goes, "Oh, I'm here with the 8-time Mr. Olympia. I only win 7, but you know."
Yeah.
Arnold is hysterical. Ronnie is going to be, when Ronnie hits like 80, he's going to be the funniest old guy of all time, you know, because he already sounds like he's 80. You know, he talks, but because he's got the country wisdom, you know, we always talk about.
Yeah.
And Ronnie is just, you know, he gets it. He's so good at marketing still. People think that, you know, it's just like that's like Ronnie's personality. Ronnie understands marketing because he knows people want to watch him. I give the guy credit. You know, he's got a lot of courage. He has to, you know, he gets around in a wheelchair. He's got those little hand walkers that he uses when he's, you know, walking around because his legs are not, you know, they're not solid, and he's got some, you know, nerve damage, obviously, so he can't walk without those. And it doesn't affect him one bit. He goes to the gym, he does his workouts, he doesn't give a crap what anyone thinks about him, and he has fun with life, and that's really what it's all about at the end of the day, you know. And Arnold is at a point in his life now, in his 70s, where he doesn't give a shit about anything or anyone.
Yeah.
And he just wants, he's enjoys life. He's kind of gone back to his roots, which was
big
right.
time.
Go to the gym, eat
Big
it, you know, eat the meals, you
Ride
know,
the
like
bike.
he always eats.
It's unbelievable. I love it.
If you saw the documentary on him, he's got the mini horses and the donkey. He feeds it every day in the stable. I mean, he's not in politics and movies. I guess he'll do a movie here and there, but you know, he basically lives a very simple bodybuilder lifestyle again. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's great to see it. It's unbelievable to see him. I'm gonna watch you. You mentioned Ronnie marketing. I'm gonna watch it. Not, you know, just to. I'm interested to see the back and forth banter between the two, and I love that Arnold is, you know, still not only involved in the sport, but just going to the gym and you said it, living that like bodybuilding lifestyle. Like, I mean, that, you know what it is, Dave? You can ask so many people who retired from bodybuilding. People tell me all the time. They said you know, who I coached to help. They said we had the funnest times because there weren't many responsibilities, right?
Right. Wow. Yeah.
It was, you know, the day was going to the gym and, you know, going to the tanning booth, and in Arnold's case, going to the beach and getting tan and going to eat, the whole 9 yards.
I had a kid who reached out to me, not a kid anymore. He wanted to thank me because I put him on my pregnancy baby making protocol, and he got his wife pregnant like in a month. And he was a guy who, when I got out of jail, I had to get a job for 5 months while I was on house arrest. So I was working at this Titan fitness place, and nothing to do with Titan Medical. And this was up in New York. My friend owned the gym. So I was doing nutrition consulting there. I was training a few people. And so I was working there. And so I became friends with all these people who from that gym, who were really good people. And we used to hang out. And to this day, I know a lot of the guys. And this kid I think he was in high school. He played quarterback for one of the local high schools. And I used to give these guys like training tips and turn them onto, like, you know, nutritional supplements. And because I was there all day, it was like I had to do something. Yeah. And you know me, I'm very personable. And, you know, he remembers that. He was telling me stories about, you remember when you told me? I don't even remember.
Yeah, you don't remember.
But he was so impressed, you know, and he was so influenced by what I said to him and his friends and stuff like that, and how I showed him to do stuff. And now he's, you know, he's married, he's got a wife, they just got pregnant. It's crazy. But I thought the heyday and it was when I go to Gold's Venice, or when I trained, you know, like, you know, at 300 pounds. But there's different portions of your life where you affect different populations of people. And Ronnie is still doing it to this day. It's amazing. He's still very relevant. And I think that's important, because how many Mr. Olympias, you know, are there out there that stay relevant, you know, all those years? I mean, Dorian disappeared for a long time. Just recently, he kind of came out of a shell and kind of, like, you know, started doing interviews and talking about his days competing and stuff like that. But initially, we really didn't see anything from him. You know, Haney is kind of quiet, you know, he's behind the scenes. And now it's when his son kind of got involved, he started doing the promoting the shows and stuff like that. And now he's a little bit more available. But Ronnie never disappeared. He's always been around, you know, he'll interview with anyone. You know, if I call him up tomorrow and say, Ronnie, let's do an interview, he'd be like, yeah, man, let's do it. You know, he's all about promoting and passing on, you know, knowledge and the word and stuff like that. So you got to take your hat off them. And, you know, it's cool that Arnold is put himself back into social media, light. It's amazing how a guy in his 70s has so much, and I think he posts his own social media pictures and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. He does, and he posts them.
I always see him on the phone. Yeah, he's always.
Well, I mean, he posted them. He's always posted them, from his shows. With when people win the Arnold Classic on his, he congratulates people on his Instagram and tags them. He tags them too.
The only workout partner that Arnold could have had that would have been a better filmed interview would have been Cedric and Arnold. Because Ronnie is still a little, not a lot, but he's still a little starstruck by Arnold because Arnold's a big celebrity, and Ronnie was kind of being like a goofball, just cracking jokes. Cedric would have been asking.
Yeah, Cedric would turn down the opportunity. Dave, so that I can let's end the show on this to show you Cedric's insight into who he is. Arnold invited him out to California, and Cedric had military duty. End of story.
Yeah. If Cedric was out there,
he didn't say, let's do a rain check, let's do it another time.
Right.
He was committed to, training, whatever he was doing, training his soldiers. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Other people would just say, like, whoever it is, goodbye, I'm going for a week.
He told me recently that Arnold invited him to the set of the movies. I was telling you that story, and he went. Spent the whole day with Arnold. I can't remember who it was.
Bodybuilder, obviously.
Lavroni. Lavroni went.
Oh, really?
Remember, Lavroni won the Arnold, and he said to Arnold, he wanted to get into Hollywood. He's like, Arnold's like, come on out. He invited him. He was on the set of whatever movie he was filming at the time, and he spent the whole day with Arnold. I mean, so Arnold.
You can't even, Dave. You can't even. There's no way you can put a price tag on one, the experience, but two, what doors could have opened just haven't been, on the set.
Yeah.
At the invitation of Arnold, not the invitation of like the person doing the hair and the makeup. Right. Or the person doing the sound.
Yeah, no, I think Lavroni got a good taste of what Hollywood was like when he went out there. But I think if Cedric would have ever been, training with Arnold, I think the questions that he would have been asking Arnold would have been great. Classic. We would have been playing him to this day, probably repeating.
Yeah, whose jokes would have been funnier? Would be the big question.
Oh, definitely
Arnold's,
Cedric.
Or Cedric's.
Cedric would have been like Arnold.
I'd put my money on all day long on Cedric being able to crack up Arnold more than Arnold could make Cedric or anyone else crack up, because Cedric know how to change his mood to be able to not laugh at something.
Oh yeah, he won't, just because it's funnier if he doesn't laugh at it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll never forget when he gave the
privy
speech.
of that, Dave, was the speech when he won the Arnold.
Yeah, I was just going to say
that.
And
he said, what's this problem you got with Donald Trump going on? Remember when they had the big? That was like the elephant in the room. It just happened, and here he is getting the award for winning the Arnold Classic. What's he do? He brings up Trump.
Cedric was genius, because Cedric
genius,
and he used to do this. He used to do this to me too. He knew everyone's vulnerability. So what he would do is, to neutralize his insecurity that he had with himself, he would throw their vulnerability in their face right off the bat, so that he threw them off their game a little bit, right? So that he felt like he had the upper hand on people in the interview. Yeah. He would always try to pick on something about me, which he didn't realize that I didn't give a shit about anything he said, but he would always do that. I noticed that's exactly what he did with Arnold. He wanted to throw Arnold off his game a little bit so that he could do his whole act and get away with it,
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. You are right. I only said you're right once on this show. Usually it's like 3 times.
I will say that Cedric had some brilliant insights into people. He was an observer of humans
extraordinaire,
and he can zoom in right on what their insecurities were, what their strengths were, if they were full of crap or not, or if they were legitimate, people. And that was a gift that he had, for sure. There's no doubt about that. May he rest in peace. Hopefully he's watching us right now.
He's probably critical. He'll be
next
critical.
Week, yeah. He didn't like me because I busted. I would not let him get away with anything when I would interview him. I'd always call him out, and that's why he really didn't like to interview with me, because he knew that I was going to ask him the uncomfortable questions, and so we had that kind of like back and forth with each other. But we have a great show coming up next week, Chris. We have this Texas Pro, and we're going to see Hunter Labrada return to the stage after his victory in Tampa. We're going to see Andrew Jacked on the stage for the first time this year, and we're going to see finally the pro debut of Carlos Thomas Jr., among other people. God forbid they released the list, 2 weeks before, but it's going to be a great show in Texas. I'm super excited. I'm going to buy the live stream. I'm going to watch it, because I really think that this might be. I mean, Tampa was good because Labrada was so good. I think this might be the best competitive lineup we saw, aside from the Arnold Classic.
For sure.
Who do you think is going to come out of this? Well, you're biased a little bit because you're helping Andrew, but where do you think this lineup shakes out of those three guys?
It's just three totally different physiques. Short, tall, and medium, right? Carlos, Andrew, and right in the middle, Hunter Labrada. So I think, just three contrasts besides height. I think of Carlos as like a fire plug, and obviously Hunter was in tremendous condition last week, and Andrew was Andrew. He's got his own.
Andrew's been playing it very coy. You haven't seen many pictures of him at all. He's covered up, obviously training with Chris Psycho Lewis again, and you're doing his diet. So I'm assuming we're going to see a much better version than we saw the last time. How much bigger do you think he'll be from the Arnold?
I think he's 5 pounds bigger. I think 5 pounds bigger. We'll see. But I sent you that you can't post some pictures. And
why does he look so much? He looks like he's 20 pounds bigger than he was at the Arnold.
Well, you know what? It's so fun. It's. I guess that's right. One of those physiques where we say, like, God, if this guy could put on 5 pounds, how much would it look like on his frame? Whereas someone else, it's the frame. The frame.
But he's tall too. I swear to you, I thought when you sent me those pictures, I thought he gained 20 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, it's just like 5 pounds. That's it.
Yeah, he's a freak. He's definitely a freak. We're gonna look. It's gonna be a great event, and obviously Sid, our one and only Sid, will be emceeing that event, so that's gonna be great. See him out there.
I'll be out there, so get my press pass, Dave.
Oh, right, you are out there. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna tell Sid to get the press pass for you. But how did you pull that one off with the family?
Well, it's a long story. I'll tell it next week.
Where do you have to take them on vacation after? Because that's usually what happens when Chris has to go on these long trips.
Yeah, we'll look. Who knows, dude?
You have to take them somewhere. There's no doubt. Last time we went to Hawaii,
that's of course. Probably go to Panama in December.
All right, let's pull up. I want to pull up a picture of Carlos Thomas from recent. I think this is recent. This kid is enormous.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, he looks tremendous.
If he brought his back up, which last time I saw pictures of him, I felt it was definitely better than when he won the Nationals. I think he's going to be dangerous. That's his only real weakness is not this width in his back, but he needs a little more thickness in that back area. But I think he's going to be super dangerous in the show. So I'm excited, like I said, because very rarely in recent times have we seen, a show or a lineup where we were really excited about it. And Carlos is an exciting bodybuilder. Andrew's an exciting bodybuilder. Labrada has proven to be a very exciting bodybuilder, especially with his victory in Tampa.
Yeah.
So I think we're waiting. We were waiting for something like this,
Yeah.
This is almost like, remember how the New York Pro used to be every year?
Yes.
It would always, or when it was Night of Champions, it would always be the best guys, new guys, battling it out to say, "Hey, I'm New York Pro champ." This is what this lineup feels like it's become.
Yeah.
For at least for this year, because these three guys all can make an impact on the Olympia this year in the top 5, possibly. I don't know. Carlos is untested still, on a pro stage, but he's got the mask to hang with these guys. The question
Yeah,
is,
well, Hunter's been as high as 4th already,
no, and after what we saw of him, he looks like he can go higher than that. So this is going to be great, and whoever wins this show is going to have tremendous momentum going into the Olympia. I know we talk about momentum. Cedric didn't believe in momentum.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Don't believe it.
But momentum is a real thing, and that's something great. So we got to have Chris there with Sid, so that means we're going to get a great wrap up after the show.
Get a good wrap up.
And you know who else will be there? I think Armand Adibi will be there too. So
throw him in. Throw him in for good measure.
Throw him into the wrap up. All right. Well, we're going to wrap today up because we have no more time left. But congratulations to all the winners over there at the Sharu Classic in UK and all the shows that took place this past weekend. As we say every week here at Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
Sure does. We'll see you again next week.